In reality, cruise ships are some of the most efficiently designed environments on the planet. Every hallway, every system, every service exists for one reason: to move thousands of people smoothly through a small space without chaos, and that creates something fascinating. On a cruise ship, there are things you can do that would be impossible, illegal, impractical, or just ridiculous on land. Yet at sea, they actually make more sense. If you understand how these systems work, your entire cruise experience becomes smoother, faster, and far more enjoyable. But if you miss them, you'll walk right past advantages most passengers never notice. So in this video, we're walking through 10 things you can do on a cruise ship that you can't do on land, and why they actually work better at sea. And we're going to walk through them in phases, in the exact order experienced cruisers naturally discover them. Phase 1. Understanding the cruise environment. Before you can appreciate these strange cruise advantages, you need to understand the environment you're stepping into. Thousands of people. Limited space, limited time, yet somehow it all works. Step 1. Living without carrying money on land. Every transaction requires something: cash, cards, wallets, apps. But on a cruise ship, you can live for an entire week without touching money once. The moment you board, your cruise card becomes everything. It opens your cabin, it buys drinks, it books excursions, it pays for souvenirs, it even identifies you when you leave and reboard the ship. Why it works on a cruise ship is simple. The cruise line controls the entire environment. They own the restaurants, the bars, the shops, the theater, and the spa. Because of that, they can connect every purchase to your onboard account automatically. If you tried this system on land across multiple businesses, it would be chaos. But on a ship, it's seamless. If you don't understand the system, though, small charges can add up quickly. Experienced cruisers check their onboard spending daily through the cruise app or cabin TV to avoid surprise bills. Pro tip: the moment you board, connect your account to the cruise app so you can track spending in real time. Phase 2. The transportation advantage. Cruise ships quietly solve a problem travelers face constantly on land: transportation. Step 2. Visiting multiple cities without packing or traveling on land. Visiting 5 cities usually means 5 hotels, trains, flights, and hours of packing and unpacking. On a cruise ship, you unpack once, and the ship moves you. While you sleep, the entire city changes. You might wake up in Cozumel one morning, Grand Cayman the next, and Jamaica the day after. Hotels on land can't do this, but ships were built for exactly that purpose. If you don't take advantage of this system, you might overbook shore excursions or waste time rushing through ports. Experienced cruisers plan their port days carefully, knowing the ship will always bring them back to their room. Pro tip: treat your cabin like a permanent base camp while the destinations rotate around you. Phase 3. The food system that only works at seafood service on a cruise ship would collapse instantly if copied on land. Yet somehow it runs almost nonstop. Step 3. Eating restaurant quality food almost 24 hours a day. Imagine trying to walk into a restaurant on land at 2:00 a.m. and asking for a full meal. Most places would laugh. But on cruise ships, food availability is almost constant. Buffets open early. Main dining rooms run multiple dinner seatings. Late-night pizza counters stay open. Room service delivers food directly to your cabin. Why does this work? Because cruise ships plan food production at massive scale. Some ships prepare tens of thousands of meals per day. Every ingredient is loaded before the voyage, and kitchens operate like military logistics operations. But passengers who don't understand the system make a common mistake. They eat only at the buffet and miss the higher quality dining rooms that are included in their fare. Pro tip: alternate between buffet breakfasts and main dining room dinners to experience both speed and quality. Phase 4. Crowds that somehow move smoothly on land. Crowds usually mean stress. Airports, theme parks, concerts. But cruise ships handle thousands of passengers in surprisingly calm ways. Step 4. Attending multiple shows without buying tickets on land. Concerts and theater require tickets, reservations, and often expensive seating. On cruise ships, professional-level entertainment is included. Comedy shows, theater productions, live music, ice skating shows on some ships. Why it works is simple. The cruise line already has you on board. They don't need to sell tickets. Instead, shows are scheduled multiple times to spread crowds across the ship. Passengers who don't understand this often make the mistake of trying to attend the first showtime. Experienced cruisers wait for later performances when crowds thin out. Pro tip, check the daily schedule each afternoon and pick less crowded showtimes. Phase 5. Sleeping while traveling. Travel on land usually involves stress. Airports, traffic, hotel check-ins. Cruise ships quietly eliminate one of the biggest travel problems. Step 5. Traveling hundreds of miles while you sleep on land. Moving between destinations takes hours of active effort. Flights, driving, train schedules. But on a cruise ship, the transportation happens overnight. Engines run through the night while passengers sleep. You wake up somewhere new without lifting a finger. The ship essentially functions as a moving hotel. But this only works if you plan your evenings wisely. Passengers who stay out extremely late sometimes miss early port arrivals and lose valuable time ashore. Pro tip, on nights before important ports, go to sleep earlier so you can enjoy the full destination. Phase 6. Safety systems that quietly protect you. Cruise ships are built with safety systems most people never notice. Step 6. Participating in a mandatory safety drill. Imagine checking into a hotel on land and being required to attend a safety briefing. It would feel ridiculous. But on cruise ships, the muster drill is mandatory. Every passenger must learn where to go in case of emergency. Why does this make sense at sea? Because evacuation options are limited. Ships operate far from land, so everyone on board must know the procedures. Passengers who skip paying attention during the drill often forget their muster station later. Pro tip, take a photo of your muster station location so you remember it instantly. Phase 7. Watching the world with no distractions. Modern cities are full of noise, traffic, buildings, advertisements. Cruise ships offer something surprisingly rare. Step 7. Seeing completely unobstructed horizons at sea. There are no buildings blocking the view, no traffic noise, no city lights, just ocean and sky. Watching sunrises and sunsets from the open deck is something you almost never experience on land anymore. Passengers who stay inside the ship miss this completely. Pro tip, walk the outer decks early in the morning when most passengers are still asleep. Phase 8. The logistics miracle. Behind the scenes, cruise ships operate like floating supply chains. Step 8. Thousands of people being served by invisible logistics on land. Large events struggle to serve thousands of guests smoothly, but cruise ships manage it daily. Laundry systems cleaning tons of linens. Kitchen teams preparing thousands of meals. Engineering crews keeping engines, water systems, and electricity running. Passengers rarely see this machinery working behind the scenes, but when you notice it, you realize the ship is essentially a floating city. Pro tip, some ships offer behind-the-scenes tours showing the engine control room and kitchens. Phase 9. Living inside a completely self-contained world. Most vacations require constant decisions. Where to eat, where to go, how to get there. Cruise ships simplify everything. Step 9. Living inside a fully self-contained city. Once you board, almost everything you need exists within walking distance. Restaurants, pools, theaters, gyms, medical centers, shops. You can spend an entire week without needing transportation, reservations, or complicated planning. Passengers who constantly rush around trying to do everything often end up exhausted. Experienced cruisers slow down and let the ship's systems guide their day. Pro tip, schedule only 1 or 2 major activities per day to keep the trip relaxing. Phase 10. The rare experience of true digital disconnection. One final advantage of cruise ships surprises many travelers. Step 10. Temporarily disconnecting from the outside world at sea. Internet connections are slower and more limited. At first, this feels inconvenient. But many passengers discover something unexpected. Without constant notifications, emails, and news alerts, they relax more deeply. They talk more. They sleep better. They actually experience the vacation. Passengers who spend the entire trip on Wi-Fi sometimes miss this benefit. Pro tip. Consider buying minimal internet access and treat the cruise as a digital reset. Traps to avoid before you board your next cruise. Avoid these common mistakes. First, don't assume cruise systems work like land systems. The ship operates on its own rules. Second, don't ignore the daily schedule. That small printed or digital guide controls the rhythm of the entire ship. Third, don't rush every activity. The best cruise experiences often happen when you slow down. And finally, don't stay inside the entire trip. The ocean itself is one of the greatest parts of cruising. Now I'm curious about your experience. What's the one thing you've seen on a cruise ship that would make absolutely no sense on land?